Join Winnipeg Sports Talk, live from the NHL Draft in Las Vegas, presented by CoolBet, beginning on June 26th.
With 5 picks heading into the draft and trading to get to 4, how would you characterize the haul that you got in the youth?
Well, I think, hopefully we're, quantity is quality over quantity, but we were staring at our list and, when he was still sitting there, we just felt we had to be decisive there, that we didn't think he was going to be around, that much longer. And so we just kind of worked the phones to try to find somebody that we could partner up with to be able to make that pick. But, again, it's, this is Scouts Day. These are
Alfons Freij, your first pick. Had a great chat with him, the talented young man. What was it about his package that made him the guy you wanted to call his name?
Yeah, so I think there's a good package of speed and skill and hockey sense there that can make him into a good offensive player that can certainly move a puck and give a dynamic there. But he seemed like a great kid as well, and I think there's some good upside there.
As usual, I mean, especially in a draft like this where there's so much difference from list to list, it seems like you guys were obviously motivated to make sure you got Kevin He, but also somewhat surprised that he might have been available at that point in the 4th round?
Well, again, that's our list. So, and sometimes it breaks differently than other players or other teams' lists and stuff like that. But again, we felt strong enough that that he wasn't going to be there if we waited much longer. And fortunately, we found an opportunity to jump up and grab him.
He sounds like he takes his potential role as a role model very seriously.
He's a very serious individual, and when we talk to him, you talk to him about his development plan and about what he does from off ice and his daily stuff. Like, he seems like a very, very articulate, very driven type of person. And again, he's he wants to play the game. He wants to be a hockey player, and he really kind of stood out in that aspect of things that he relishes his opportunity that's in front of him.
The earliest player taken, born in China. You said his grandparents are still there, all of that. I mean, obviously you're taking the player first, but that's got to be an interesting and proud moment for the Jets too.
Well, I think, again, when someone takes so much pride in their heritage and so much pride in their craft, as in the sport that they want to be involved in, it says a lot about the person and the individual. And again, if it can turn out to be a great story, that's secondary. But it is always nice to see the diversity in the game and help maybe grow the game a little bit more. So it would be a great story if she could continue to take that next step.
Go back to yesterday, or feel like you got close on anything in the first round? I know you obviously were looking if the price was right.
Well, again, we had lots of different conversations, but we didn't get a pick. Close only counts in horseshoes.
No, fair enough. Is there any update with Rutger? I mean, how do you view the situation?
I really don't have an update. Obviously, you won't be at development camp coming up here, but I really don't have any update at this point.
We're 48 hours from free agency. What's the next day and a half like for you? And maybe if you could speak to what you're looking to do or a focus for July 1st.
Yeah, so the next day and a half will be about the last 2.5 weeks. It's it's kind of been that process of just trying to understand where everything is at. Certainly, we're in more constant contact with our own UFA guys, trying to see if there's a way to make some things work. But this phase of the time of the year is over now, and we jump into the next one with both feet.
So safe to say there will be some contact at least with the Monahan camp and Dylan before you get to midnight in a couple of days?
Well, there's been contact ever since we've started talking.
Would this be one of those, I mean, you mentioned working the phone ups, and this table was a flurry of activity a whole bunch of times, especially in the first round, it looked like. Is this going to be one that ends up in the book for you, you've referenced?
Oh, I'm sure it'll be a chapter.